Guys, how's it going? It's great to be back. I'm Roguelike Duck, and if you're new here, look, I try to upload Marvel Snap content every single day, whether you're brand new to the game or you've been playing for a while, whatever it is, pop in. I appreciate the subscribe if you like the content. I am a very small channel, pretty new, so hey, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Guys, look, I appreciate all the feedback that I've recently gotten on some of the videos. There's been a few of you that specifically have been really liking the Pool 1 content, and one specific person's actually asked me for tips going into Pool 2, so I thought, hey, let's dedicate this week to looking at some Pool 2 decks. The cool thing about Pool 1 and Pool 2 decks, like with these videos, they don't change. They're not releasing new cards for Pool 1 and Pool 2 anytime soon, that I know of. I mean, they might, but at this stage, the meta doesn't change for Pool 1 and 2, so these videos, it's like once I've done them, they're going to be useful for anybody, anytime, who's brand new to the game. So that's why I'm going to enjoy doing them. So I just want to give one quick shout out to Stacy Little, who actually used the Pool 1 Kazoo deck to get their way up into Infinite, and now they're in Pool 2. So they used Pool 1 Kazoo, they really liked it, and they asked, I'm now at the early stages of Pool 2 and in Infinite with this deck, and it's not performing nearly as well as it was prior to me hitting Infinite rank. Any thoughts, any tips? And so that's actually what inspired me to go, alright, well let's just have a look at a whole bunch of Pool 2 decks, right? Because once you hit Pool 2, the meta shifts a little bit, and I found playing Kazoo in Pool 2 quite difficult as well. You do have to change the way you play the deck. So if you watch the Pool 1 video, I showed 2 different ways to play the deck, and I discussed, well, here's what you do if you want to do this version. This version is the version I prefer, but you got to play it a bit differently. And so we're going to be looking into that a bit more right now, because it is quite different once you hit Pool 2. Specifically, one card in particular is going to make your life absolutely miserable when you're playing Zoo if you don't play the deck correctly, and that's Killmonger. He comes out in Pool 2, and he's going to get used everywhere. He is so good, specifically because Zoo is so good in Pool 1. As soon as you get Killmonger in Pool 2, you're like, oh, well, screw this. I don't want to see Kazoo decks anymore. I keep losing to them and putting it in every single one of my decks. So we're going to have a few games in this. You're probably looking at the list and you're like, it doesn't look too different to how it looked in Pool 1, and that's because really it isn't. So the way I want to order these videos is from easiest for you to take into Pool 2 to more difficult, because you're going to need more Pool 2 cards, right? So this deck is probably the easiest to just plug in and play once you're in Pool 2. I think the only Pool 2 card in the deck is Armor. I'm pretty sure Armor's Pool 2. I might be wrong, might be Pool 1. Other than that, it's pretty plug and play. Just get in there and do it, right? So if you watch the Pool 1 video, I'm not going to waste your time going over all of the cards. You should know most of the cards already, right? We've got our lineup of 1-drops that we want to play on turn 6. That's the strategy with this deck in Pool 2, because if you play them early, you're going to get Killmongered, and he's going to absolutely make your life miserable, right? He will ruin your day if you don't drop all your 1-drops on turn 6. If you're playing them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they can just hold it till turn 6 and then blow up your board, and then you've got nothing. So we want to hold on to our cards, not play a lot of them. We can skip turn 1. You don't need to play anything on turn 1, alright? Don't play anything on turn 1. Turn 2, hopefully we've got Angel or Armor. Turn 3, we're dropping Bishop or Cap. Turn 4, Kazaar and Blue Marvel, right? I'm going to assume you guys know what these cards do, because they are in Pool 1. If you're watching this video and you're looking for Pool 2 decks, you probably know what all these cards do. So we're just going to jump into a few games with this deck specifically, just so I can show you. This is kind of how we want to play it, right? So let's get it. All right, so we've just got a game. So this video is a bit different to the other ones. I'm not just showcasing a deck list, but we are going to talk about a few tips and strategies when we're playing these sort of decks, specifically Pool 2 Kazoo, what we're looking at and what we're trying to do, right? So if you don't already know, at the top left-hand corner, top right-hand corner, whoever's name is highlighted, they're going to have initiative going into the next turn, right? And it's typically whoever's winning. If it's a draw, then it could be random. So like this was a draw, so it's just swapped to the other person. But if I was winning, it would stick on my initiative. And the initiative means that's the person who's going to reveal their card first. So what we're trying to do here, we don't want to take initiative, because on turn 6, we're dropping all of our 1-drops. If they get wise that we're playing Kazoo, specifically next turn, we're going to be dropping Kazaar. And if they get wise to that, well, they can just drop a Killmonger and ruin our day. Now, they're not playing anything, which makes it a bit more difficult to not have initiative. So we're going to have initiative now. The cool thing though is we do have Armor and we do have Wakanda, so it's not as big of a deal. if we do take initiative at this point in time, because we have a way of getting around it. So they're going to get a bunch of saber-tooths to their hand, because I assume they're about to destroy all of them. Their hand's full. Their hand's full. They're not drawing anything new. And now they're going to get a bunch of 8 carnages. They're all going to kill one. So it's going to be a 10 power carnage. We might see a follow-up of a venom in there. We could armor it. We're going to have initiative. So we could do something a bit cheeky. We could, like, this is just going to be a bit wild. But we could do something like, we could do a bunch of Ant-Mans and 1 armor. So the Ant-Mans will reveal first, and then we'll armor them. This is going completely against the strategy, right, of not playing any of our 1-drops until turn 6. But the plan here is that, well, they're all going to get protected by the armor, so it's okay. We're seeing a Nimrod there. So it's unfortunate we haven't seen Captain Marvel. I do think it's worth just skipping this turn, though, just in case. It is a destroy deck. They are going to have Killmonger. So if we just skip this turn, let them take prio or initiative. And then we'll just play with whatever hand we have next turn. That's kind of the idea. We are likely going to lose Bar Sinister. So seeing a null, that is a huge null. And we're not actually playing any way to counter a null. So this is likely going to be a lose. But that's fine. That's fine. Obviously, if you're playing in pool 2, you're not going to see cards like Nimrod or Null. Like, these are more random strategies. Well, not random, they're quite good, but you're like, they're strategies you don't need to worry about. We don't have a way of dealing with a Null. So we're going to put all our eggs on the basket over here. But likely we will lose Bar Sinister. And there's not a great deal we can do about that. Here comes all of the Sabertooths. So we're going to win Wakanda. Enzim Zola. Pop pop. Yeah. And we only just lose Bar Sinister as well. We were actually quite close to keeping that. So that's unfortunate, but there isn't much you can do about that, right? In this. But this is where the problem with Zoo comes in when you get to pool 3. And I'm going to say it right now, right? It's not worth playing Zoo in pool 3. I see people try to play it. I've never lost to it in pool 3. It doesn't dish out as much power as you need in pool 3. You just saw a 40 power null. Like, Zoo can't hit that sort of power level. And it doesn't play enough counters in the deck naturally to affect what your opponent's doing. Like, we're not playing a Shang-Chi. If they dropped a 40 power null and we had Shang-Chi, well then, beautiful. We'll just get rid of that. Thank you. See ya. But we don't have that in this sort of deck. The only thing we have in this deck is Elektra, right? So like I said, it's fine. We can skip it. Now keep in mind, Washington DC, we can drop a squirrel in there that's going to get +3 power, so that's going to be important. We're getting a rock. Rock is a 1 cost, so it actually synergizes a bit with our deck. We don't like Triskelion. There isn't really anything worth. Like, we need to empty the hand so we can start drawing into our deck. We do have cloning vats, which could be helpful. Korg and Zabu, that's telling me it's like a Devil Darkhawk deck. They might not have, they might not have Killmonger in the deck. We could probably get away with like some cheeky shenanigans here. I'm not sure it's quite worth the risk though. I'm just going to drop the Cosmo. Now next turn I'm going to play Kazaar in the cloning vats. We'll get another Kazaar to our hand. Our hand will be full, but if we don't see Blue Marble, then we can Kazaar and Squirrel Girl. Okay, cool. So they're dropping a Jean Grey and cloning Vats, that's fine. Oh, and we do see the Blue Marvel, actually. Wow, that's interesting. Electric can kill the Korg, so we know we can get rid of at least 2 power there. And unfortunately, because our deck is going to have so many cards in it, from the Rock, from the Triskelion, and from us playing into cloning Vats, their Darkhawk is going to be sicko mode, right? They've got a full hand as well, so hopefully they haven't drawn into the Darkhawk, but we don't really want to play on hopefullys. So, just to try to thin our deck a little bit, we're going to play it this way. And then next turn, we're just going to go crazy with it, right? Now, we couldn't play the Squirrel Girl and the Triskelion because we've got Cosmo there, so Cosmo's going to prevent the on-reveal. So this is the better way to play it. We've got to play in Cloning Vats because they got Jean Grey there. And so Jean Grey's the new card, where we have to play our first card there each turn. Now, and then another thing to think about is that the Enchantress obviously is a little bit of a pain. Any card that can take the ongoing abilities away, which I think there's 2 or 3 of. And then we're going to, for this turn, nice and easy, right? It's just dropping all of our 1 costs. Now, we want that other vanilla squirrel in there. We're probably just going to go Electra to get rid of a little bit of their power. And then we're going to leave it, right? All of our 1-drops. And we might take the win. You know, it's not the worst I've ever seen. They fill up the Triskelion, and Lizard's going to drop to 1 power. So we'll drop to 11, and then they'll likely just beat that. They're only at 7. We could win Cloning Vats. I feel confident we can win DC. We have initiative, so this is what I was talking about in that last match, the glowing name. If they are running Killmonger, I'm kind of playing this like they don't have Killmonger, but if they have Killmonger, they just win. Like, it's as simple as that. I'm playing in the idea that I'm kind of familiar with these decks. I don't think they play Killmonger in Darkhawk decks. I'm pretty confident in that. Yeah, I mean, like, they might, but it's doubtful. But if they do, we have initiative. We're going to reveal all our 1 costs first, and then we just lose. Okay. And then Rocket's actually going to be quite powerful here. And that's probably just a Sentinel that they're playing there based on the rarity. So I'm pretty sure we just win there. They'll go to 15. And then I'm confident that we can take DC. Yeah, so that's just a Sentinel. They just go to 15. Oh, they'll go to 16. Oh, but they didn't play in Triskelion. Oh, they go to 17, sorry. I forgot about the cloning Vats. Okay, yeah. So they'll take that, but we win the others. Oh, wow. How good. I was pretty confident with the power we could put in DC. I didn't realize they didn't play anything in Triskelion. Oh, so they just let us have that. Wow. I guess they weren't expecting us to fill up 20 power in there. Though we didn't even see the Darkhawk. They had their hand full the whole time. They weren't drawing anything. They probably didn't have anything. Oh, well, that's good for us. Locations matter a lot. They really do. Locations are really, really impactful in this game. So you got to make the most of them. I think I even pointed that out in the last video that I wasn't playing to the strength of the locations. But I do want to show that this deck is capable of doing things, but it's really, really hard in pull 3. So we got Nexus. That's if that doesn't get like stormed or anything, that's going to be pretty important. We don't want to play any of these on turn 1. We're just going to leave it. It's different when you're playing other decks where the 1 costs don't matter as much. They just like, they're there for the, you know, the strategy of it. In this deck, our 1-drops, they're super important. They're the whole game plan. Now, just in case we do happen to take priority, I could armor there, but armor's going to put 3 power on all the locations, which will give us the glowy name and the reveal first. I think we would probably be better off just going there. Now, a cool little trick here is that Rocket, when played in cloning bats, actually keeps the power. So we could try to predict some Rocket Raccoons and cloning bats. And so playing the armor here, at least we're safe from any killmongers on the rockets that we're copying. Our hand's going to get full here. 6, 7. We do have Kazaar for next turn. So what we might do... We actually got the Kazaar in the blue marble. We might do this. Try to predict a cloning bat. And if we don't get the cloning bat prediction on the rocket, that's fine. It's whatever. We're seeing a Punisher. That's interesting. Alright, so we do have an Angela. We can play Angela on the last turn. Now, Kazaar actually has quite a decent amount of power, so he's worth putting into the Nexus. Next turn, we'll probably put Blue Marvel over in Nova Roma. So they got the Punisher off of Agent 13, because it has the same rarity. That's how you can tell. So unless they magically have the exact same rarity for both of those cards, and I'm getting punked right now, I'm fairly certain that the Punisher was taken off Agent 13. I was starting to wonder what sort of weird Spectrum deck I might be versing, but no, I'm pretty sure this is just like a Devil Dino sort of thing. We're seeing a Mystique on the Punisher? What is going on? Okay, that's wild to me. Alright, I think I'm pretty happy with the Nexus there so far. Of course, we can Electro the M'Baku. Okay, so we're seeing Mojo. It's going to be pretty hard to contest a Mojo, to be honest. The Bishop would go to... Probably something like that. Just spread the power out, because even if we lose to the Mojo lane, which we likely will, I can see that. These are both going to go up by 2. It'll be 6, 4. That's 10. That's going to be an 8. So that's already 18. And then whatever they play there. We're only going up to... That's 4, 5, 6. I mean, I'm going to play through the snap. I don't really care. I'm already infinite, so... I'm pretty sure we'll lose Nexus, but we just want to get as much power on there as possible to try to win these 2, which I think we can win those 2. Okay, so what do you want to do? Oh, the Onslaught goes brazy! Woo! I wasn't expecting that. What a strange deck. I've not seen this before. I was not expecting an Onslaught. I was trying to figure out what I was versing the whole time. They had M'Baku. Maybe the Punisher was in the... No, it says right there, created by Agent 13. What the hell did I just verse? I'm so confused. Oh, well done, Ratty. I had no idea what I was versing there. Okay, so we'll jump back here. You guys know I only really do the three live games. So it was 1 win, 2 losses, but that's fine. That's fine. You just got a spoiler for the rest of the videos coming up because I've already built all the decks. Yeah. So listen, it's probably going to be a struggle. right? I'm going to be honest with you. The deck lowers, like, it should be fine for pull 2. I don't think there's anything crazy power level happening in pull 2. You just got to play to those sort of strengths. Like I said, watching initiative, who reveals first, stuff like that. If you have a good knowledge of like the other decks, then just like how you sort of heard me speculating, oh, it's probably this, probably that. Do they have Killmonger? Probably not. Like, if you have that sort of understanding, it should be fine. Especially if you are in Infinite, you're probably versing people that actually know how to play the game, right? When you're in the lower ranks, like under 50, there's no rhyme or reason a lot of the time why certain people are playing certain decks. There's just no point. Like, it's crazy out there, honestly. You know, that they could have Killmonger and anything. But if you have already hit Infinite and you're just trying to enjoy the game, keep playing it, then that's just try to think about, would this deck play Killmonger? Most decks in Pool 2 are going to be playing Killmonger, so try to wean back your plays so that they are winning, so that they have initiative, so that on your turn 6 you can safely play. Or if they play the Killmonger, then you know, okay, I can go a bit crazy here. I can be a bit more aggressive with my plays. You do have to play a bit more defensively when you're in Pool 2 playing Kazoo. And that's just honest feedback with this deck. I think it's the best pull 1 deck out there, right? Pull 1, you'll dominate. Pull 2, you've got to wind back. You can't go as crazy, and you have to understand what your opponents are doing, right? So that's my tips for playing pull 2 Kazoo. But as you keep playing and as you keep leveling up, right, you'll be able to build some of the other decks. There isn't that many pull 2 cards, so as I show you the other decks, I'm going to be showing you it in order of like complexity, how hard the cards are, like how many cards that you're going to need to obtain to be able to pull this deck off. And so the idea here is that you're going to start with something simple like this and just move up and just move up, right, until you get to what I consider is probably the strongest pull 2 deck. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. If you made it this far, please like the video. If you have suggestions for other things you want me to talk about regarding Marvel Snap, other deck types, any sort of like general tip videos, guys, let me know. I'm always open to ideas. I film all my videos on the weekend and edit them all on the weekend and schedule them throughout the week. So just keep that in mind, because I work full time, so I don't have time to do it all throughout the week. But I appreciate all of the positive feedback I've gotten so far, guys. Really, it helps me continue making these videos. So thanks very much. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you guys on the next video. Hooroo!